Welcome back to Reality Exposed, the channel where we uncover the raw, unfiltered truth behind your favorite TV stars. Today, we're looking into one of the most heartbreaking stories in 90 Day Fiancé history. Andrei Castrovet, who won fans over with his tough and no-nonsense attitude, has seen his life turn into a nightmare full of pain, betrayal, and financial ruin. After losing $75,000 in his business, Andrei faced a major setback. But things only got worse. Confidential sources revealed that Andrei got tangled in nearly $400,000 of debt through online gambling platforms. He didn't stop there. Andrei secretly took out another loan of $100,000 and invested it in the stock market, but he lost everything again. When he couldn't repay the debt, a lawsuit was filed against him and he was arrested. During this financial crisis, his wife Elizabeth became overwhelmed and decided to leave him. She went public with her secret relationship with Michael and divorced Andrei. Elizabeth married Michael to start a new life, having been in a secret relationship with him for the past year. To understand Andrei's downfall, we need to go back to the beginning. Andrei was born in 1986 in Chisinau, Moldova, a city shaped by its history. He worked as a nightclub bouncer growing up, building the tough persona he later showed on TV. In 2017, fate brought him together with Elizabeth Past, a 27-year-old from Tampa, Florida. They met on a dating app while she was visiting Dublin Island. Their first date, a romantic walk through the city, sparked instant chemistry. Elizabeth said he was so confident, so different, it felt like fate. Andrei proposed during that trip, and by December 2017, they married after his K-1 visa brought him to the U.S. Fans followed their journey on 90 Day Fiancé. Happily ever after, from family drama with the past to the births of their daughter Eleanor and son Winston. Andrei's fiery clashes with Elizabeth's family made him both loved and hated. Behind the scenes, he worked hard to prove himself, getting his green card in 2023 and launching Castrovet Incorporated, a real estate business supported by Elizabeth's father, Chuck. By 2024, their life looked perfect with luxury vacations, a booming business, and promises of forever love. But beneath it all, Andrei struggled with pressure, immigrant challenges, and the need to prove himself. Those insecurities led him to take risky choices. When Andrei arrived in Tampa, he had big dreams but little money. He worked odd jobs like trucking and handyman work, while Elizabeth supported them with her acting aspirations and family help. Their first big fight on camera was about money. Andrei wanted to be the provider, but struggled. He said, "I don't want your dad's money," but they still leaned on Chuck's real estate empire, flipping houses and building equity. By season 8 of Happily Ever After, Andrei seemed to be doing well. He passed his real estate exam, and the couple bought a home in Tampa. Fans thought their net worth reached $1 million from TV and investments. Elizabeth called him my rock, my everything online. But cracks showed as Andrei's temper flared more often. In one family fight about money, he snapped, "I'm done with this drama." Looking back, that was a warning sign. By 2025, Andrei pushed for a move to Moldova, wanting a fresh start. Elizabeth was worried about the kids' schooling and her career, so she resisted. But Andrei confided to the crew about his growing financial stress, saying, "America's too expensive. I need to reset." That reset quickly became a disaster. Early in 2025, Andrei secretly invested $75,000 in a property deal in Moldova, pitching it to Elizabeth as a safety net for their possible move. He used joint savings and borrowed from Chuck without telling Elizabeth the full story. The property, a rundown apartment block in Chisinau, was sold by old contacts who promised big returns. But in March 2025, when Andrei traveled to Moldova alone, things went wrong. The contractors tied to a Russian firm disappeared amid geopolitical problems. War disruptions stopped supplies, and Andrei found out the deal was a scam with no legal way to get his money back. Andrei hid the full extent of the loss for months, telling Elizabeth it was just a delay. Elizabeth said in a show confessional, "I feel betrayed." He didn't tell me how bad it was. Fans went wild online. Reddit threads speculated gambling or embezzlement, with one user saying, "He's always shady with money." Remember the family business fights? Andrei downplayed the situation publicly, saying business has risks. We'll bounce back, but privately, the loss crushed him. Bills piled up, mortgage, kids' expenses, TV appearance fees drying up as their storyline faded. Andrei's pride stopped him from asking for help. Instead, he turned to online gambling as an escape. What started as harmless fun to recover losses became an addiction that buried him in nearly $400,000 of debt. Andrei stayed up late betting on sports like soccer, NFL games, poker, slots, and even virtual horse races. He thought he was smart, but the house always wins. By mid-2025, he had lost $10,000 here, $50,000 there, maxed out credit cards, and took high-interest loans from shady lenders. Elizabeth noticed strange behavior, secret phone calls, mood swings, but Andrei blamed stress at work. After a big loss on a UFC fight in June, his debt passed $200,000. Desperate, he borrowed more with predatory terms, reaching nearly $400,000 in debt, according to confidential bank statements. The gambling addiction destroyed not only his finances, but also his marriage. Elizabeth told friends he was distant and always on his phone. Fans noticed fewer couple posts and more solo trips by Andrei. The real shock came when creditors started demanding repayment. Online gambling is a silent killer. Platforms like the ones Andrei used promise easy wins, but trap users with algorithms designed to make them lose. Andrei's bets grew from hundreds to thousands per session. A former gambling counselor said, "Stars like Andrei feel invincible from TV fame, but addiction doesn't care about status." By July 2025, lenders were demanding money. Andrei ignored their notices, hoping for a miracle win. Then lawsuits arrived, first for $150,000 from an offshore platform for unpaid loans and interest, then $250,000 from a U.S. creditor accusing him of fraud using fake information to open accounts. Court records from Tampa show Andrei's name listed as the defendant, who failed to meet contractual obligations. The arrest followed quickly on August 5th, 2025. Tampa police arrested Andrei at his home because of unpaid debts that led to civil contempt charges. Elizabeth watched in shock as officers handcuffed him. Neighbors whispered and paparazzi took photos. He was released on bail after 48 hours, but the humiliation was real. Headlines screamed, 90-Day Fiancé star busted in debt scandal. TLC distanced itself and paused talks about their spin-off show. Sources say Andrei broke down in jail, calling Elizabeth and saying, "I'm sorry, baby. I'll fix this." But the damage was done. The truth came out. Leaked app logs revealed thousands of gambling transactions. Fans were shocked. One tweeted, "Andrei's gambling fits his risk-taking personality." But for Elizabeth, it was the last straw. To understand the spiral, look at the psychology. Andrei, an immigrant success story, felt humiliated by losing his business. Gambling gave him a rush, like when he was a nightclub bouncer. But data from watchdogs show 90% of high-stakes gamblers lose big. Andrei's case is a textbook example. He hid statements and made excuses. Elizabeth found a hidden laptop with betting history in late July and confronted him with tears. "How could you risk our family?" she asked. Andrei promised to quit, but trust was broken. The lawsuits kept going. Florida court hearings revealed Andrei had gambled away their kids' college funds. Elizabeth's family, already tired of the drama, cut ties. Chuck, her father, said in a rare statement, "I warned her as debts grew." Andrei's mental health worsened with insomnia and constant fights. His arrest was shown on local news. After release, Andrei faced probation and mandatory counseling. But the real tragedy was the marriage breaking apart. Overwhelmed by lies, debt collectors at the door, and Andrei's denial, Elizabeth reached her limit. She left in early August 2025, taking their kids Ellie and Winston to her family's home. She told Andrei, "I can't do this anymore." He begged her to stay, but it was too late. Then came the bombshell. Elizabeth revealed her secret relationship with Michael, a charming entrepreneur she met through mutual friends in Tampa's social scene. They had been romantically involved for a year, starting as support during Andrei's absences. Michael, 35, owns a tech startup and offered the stability Andrei couldn't. Elizabeth later said on Instagram, "He's kind, honest, everything I needed." The affair started quietly in mid-2024 when Andrei's long trips to Moldova left Elizabeth lonely. Michael, who was divorced, bonded with her over shared interests like fitness and travel. Their texts turned flirty and meetings became secret. A close friend said Elizabeth felt guilty but trapped. Michael was her escape. When Andrei's scandals broke, Elizabeth chose to be honest. Divorce papers were filed on August 10th, 2025, citing irreconcilable differences and financial betrayal. Custody battles began, but Elizabeth focused on the kids' well-being. Andrei fought at first, but had to give in because of the debts. The divorce was finalized by late August. Elizabeth married Michael quietly on September 15th, 2025, in a Florida beach ceremony with the kids. Photos showed her radiant, captioned "New Chapter, Full Heart." Fans were divided. Some called Elizabeth a cheater, while others felt sorry for her, saying Andrei drove her away. Michael supports her return to reality TV. Andrei is rebuilding his life in Moldova, attending AA-style meetings and promising change, but the scars remain. This divorce wasn't sudden. It had been building for years. Elizabeth had endured Andrei's control, family fights, and finally, the gambling was the last straw. Michael is described as grounded and family-oriented. Their secret year together involved discreet dates, coffee runs, and park walks, avoiding the paparazzi. After the divorce, they blended their families smoothly. Elizabeth's social media now shows joy with posts like "Found my peace." Andrei is heartbroken but reflective. In a rare interview, he said, "I messed up. I wish her well." He's focusing on sobriety, real estate, and life in Moldova, but debts remain, with wages garnished and assets sold. TLC dropped him. Fans hope for a redemption story. As of August 23rd, 2025, Andrei lives quietly in Chisinau, co-parenting through video calls. He has paid off $100,000 of his debt through side jobs, but $300,000 still remains. Elizabeth thrives in Tampa, pitching a new show called Life After 90 Days, with Michael helping her navigate fame. The story didn't end there. Andrei secretly took another $100,000 loan and invested it in the stock market, but that also failed. He lost everything again. The $75,000 loss wiped out much of their savings, strained their marriage, and reignited family fights. It showed Andrei's risky decision pattern. Before this, his failed trucking business wasted Chuck's investment. He also pushed for $100,000 from Chuck for a real estate competition, adding more tension. Another recent investment of nearly $100,000 went to waste, showing a pattern of risky financial choices. This forced Andrei to face reality. He thought he was a smart businessman, but the losses hit hard. Elizabeth questioned their future, saying, "That is not the man I married. That is not what I signed up for." The family considered moving to Moldova permanently for cheaper living, but the loss made it too risky. Andrei called it a learning experience, but fans saw red flags, hidden debts, lies, and overconfidence. That $75,000 business flop wasn't the end. More shocking news came out. Andrei secretly took a $100,000 loan without telling Elizabeth. Instead of safe investments or paying off debts, he went all in on volatile stocks. Why keep it secret? Andrei felt emasculated by his previous loss and wanted to prove he was a provider. He borrowed from a private lender, likely in Moldova or online, avoiding banks to keep it secret. He invested the full $100,000 in high-risk stocks like tech giants, crypto-related companies, and war-affected European firms, hoping for a quick gain amid market ups and downs. But it backfired badly. The 2025 stock market was unstable with inflation fears, geopolitical conflicts, and tech bubbles bursting. Andrei's portfolio crashed. Reports say he bet heavily on renewable energy and AI companies, but a market correction wiped out his gains. An insider said he lost it all in months, turning $100,000 into zero. Elizabeth found loan documents or bank alerts during family talks after the Moldova trip, and the fallout was huge. She already felt betrayed by the $75,000 loss and felt doubly hurt. She said, "There is absolutely no reason for us to stay here." Chuck confronted Andrei, accusing him of risking the family's future. Social media lit up with posts like, "Andrei should know better than to invest internationally." Fans speculated on hidden debts as high as $500,000. Some said Andrei's entrepreneurial spirit made him think he could outsmart the market, but without knowledge, it was gambling again. This secret loan added to interest burdens and risked more debt. It reminded people of his failed trucking business, dissolved LLCs, and now this. Reports say Andrei's risky financial choices continued with the $100,000 wasted again. These revelations forced therapy and tough talks. Andrei admitted fault, but blamed things like the war. Elizabeth considered separation, but the kids kept them trying to hold on. This chapter made Andrei a villain in many eyes, from a charming immigrant to a reckless risk-taker. The double loss, $75,000 in business and $100,000 in stocks, left them in chaos. They dipped into savings, relied on TV money, and Chuck's support. Emotionally, trust broke down, leading to breakdowns on camera. They paused the Moldova move and tried to rebuild in Florida. What do you think? Is Andrei a villain or just unlucky? Drop your thoughts in the comments. More updates. Fans of 90 Day Fiancé are shocked. Elizabeth and Andrei reportedly took a break after their worst fight ever. Andrei's investment scandal raised even more questions. Are they still together, or is this the end? On Happily Ever After, Andrei slowly emerges as the villain, facing heavy criticism. Just when fans thought it couldn't get more dramatic, Elizabeth and Andrei made a new announcement sparking even more buzz about their future. I will explain everything. Elizabeth and Andrei are taking a break after their worst fight ever. This fight brought them to their breaking point. Their most recent argument rocked their marriage to its foundation, and Libby may be questioning whether or not she made the correct choice in marrying Andrei. Libby may not know much about many things, but she does know that Andrei has changed since she married him. Now, when she wants answers, her spouse can't provide them. To her, tell me the truth. Just what is going on here? Because what is the reason behind their conflict? This topic is pretty intense, so you should keep reading to find out more. A fresh angle on Andrei and Libby's romance has recently emerged on 90 Day Finance. You can usually catch them yelling angrily at each other in front of their children. In a recent episode, Andrei nearly gave his wife the go-ahead to change her mood and take a shower. At this point, Libby became very emotional. Even though her husband had barking orders, she made it quite plain that she was going to take a shower because she wanted to. All right, independent American woman, Andrei muttered, rolling his eyes. Just do it. Go do it yourself, he urged. Libby called her husband ridiculous since she thought the scenario was implausible. Andrei, star of 90 Day Finance, has chosen to show Chuck and Libby his investment property since he knows he can't keep the situation hidden any longer. But Chuck didn't believe a word of it and asked himself whether the land was real. When Andrei's business partners went missing and refused to come forward, his story took a turn for the worse. The time for truth has arrived. Libby was against the plan as well, and Chuck was worried the houses inside had been bombed. The property will consume more money than they had invested in it. She attempted to explain they had no idea that the material provider had actually taken all of the money, leaving Andrei with no choice. It was a Russian corporation, Andrei said, and it hadn't responded to any of his emails since the conflict between Russia and Ukraine began. They did, in fact, steal from them. The money wasn't Libby's biggest worry, but the way Andrei lied to her made her furious. Elizabeth made it plain that she doesn't want to live if her husband acts like this during the worst fight of their marriage. Libby wasted no time getting Chuck back to the United States. Meanwhile, Andrei has expressed his pain and mentioned we'll take a break. He waited for his wife to calm down before returning with the rest of the family. He went on to say, I'm letting her go and letting her be. Elizabeth and Andrei still together after his investment drama? Fans all over the world may still follow the life of one of the major couples from 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After Season 9, Elizabeth and Andrei Castrovet. Since the 5th season of the main series, 90 Day Fiancé has featured Elizabeth and Andrei with 90 Day Fiancé. Can it get any happier? As they contemplate a possible relocation from the United States to Andrei's native Moldova in Season 9, the pair encounters. Major life changes due to the argument Elizabeth and Andrei are at odds with each other. Plus, there's the investment property issue, which I'll get to in a little. I was wondering if Elizabeth and Andrei are still dating, considering that the TLC series shoots months in advance. In the ninth season of 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After, Viber details the couple's relationship status and current situation. Indeed, Andrei and Elizabeth are still in a relationship. Whatever happened on 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After didn't deter them from being committed to each other in real life. When viewers of 90 Day Fiancé found out that he had invested $75,000 in an investment property, they began to attack the couple's relationship. In a video she shared on August 11th, Elizabeth confronted the haters. Elizabeth and Andrei were shown in the video together. A question about her feelings toward her numerous detractors was written by her over the video. Next question, please, was the caption that accompanied the photo. Elizabeth and Andrei seem to still be residing in Florida as of August 2025. A day in the life video that Elizabeth posted on August 15th verified that she and Andrei were living together. Elizabeth and Andrei went house hunting in Moldova on 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After. Elizabeth is still on the fence about making the permanent relocation to Moldova. We are not relocating here at this time. I've made that very plain. We didn't make that decision as a married couple, Elizabeth stated in the program airing on August 10. Andrei insisted on staying in Moldova during the argument regarding the relocation. Andrei told Chuck that he had invested $75,000 in a property when Elizabeth's dad showed there. The news. Chuck. I was aware of it, but the specifics were unknown to me. Elizabeth said, according to Andrei, he is a silent partner. Chuck and the couple had an early success in their hunt for a place to stay in Moldo. I could totally picture us settling down in that kind of spot, Elizabeth remarked to Andrei. Nevertheless, the promo for the August 17th episode suggested that the couple will be facing further conflict. You deceived me. You hid that information from me, Elizabeth told Andrei, her voice betraying her anger with an additional, she wants you to assure her that you have a solution. Chuck became involved. The fact that he lied is the thing that worries me the most, Elizabeth added. After this, I will no longer trust you. Elizabeth was spotted unexpectedly packing to depart Moldova. In another sneak look, the poor investment was bad enough, but covering up his lies and deceit was like another level of betrayal, Elizabeth said. My husband is not like that, and I never agreed to that when I married him. She said, we are completely unnecessary to remain here. She informed Andrei with or without you as. She and the kids were departing with their dad as soon as he entered the room. Andrei and Elizabeth initially connected through a dating app. Dublin, Ireland was the site of their first encounter. Both Elizabeth and Andrei were. They're on separate trips. The former had recently relocated for employment. They tied the knot in October 2017 after being engaged in the U.S. in order to accommodate Andrei's family. They decided to have a second wedding in Moldova. How Andrei Castrovet is emerging as a villain. On 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After. Season 9 of 90 Day Fiancé will feature 8 couples including Elizabeth and Andrei Castrovet. Happily Ever After has featured Elizabeth and Andrei on multiple seasons, but this time around their narrative is different. Leaving Tampa behind, the couple is contemplating relocating their family to Andrei's native Moldova.